right, I'm here with Shari Berenbach with the Calvert Fund. Shari, could you quickly introduce yourself and
Sure.
Calvert?
Yeah, I'm Shari Berenbach, and I'm the president of the Calvert Foundation. We are a nonprofit affiliate of the Calvert Mutual Fund Company. And what we do is raise investment capital from the general public and then lend it to a mix of community development organizations in the U.S., a little slice of social enterprise, but then also microfinance and fair trade overseas. What kind of distinguishes Calvert Foundation is that we really are raising investment capital from the general public, and so we have lots of thousands of average individuals who are investing their capital and are really having full confidence that the capital will come back with modest returns. And I know how challenging it is for the nonprofits to raise the resources they need to grow. And probably the most important thing I would say to nonprofits is really to be looking at a multiple stream of funding sources, so that hopefully there's going to be more and more coming out of the government. We were just hearing from Sonal Shah, both the federal as well as state and local governments. And there really are a growing number of funds that are focused on financing nonprofits.
Could you mention a few?
Well, they're pretty well known, whether it's New Profit Inc. or Good Capital. My colleague Tim Freundlich's been involved with Kevin Jones and the Good Capital transaction and their fund. It's not an easy answer, and so and we in fact are pretty careful about a small number of organizations, individual nonprofit social enterprises that are seeking capital. And we don't really have a clear set of benchmarks or guidelines. So I can't use affections I'd like to be in all fairness. Where we tend to see a certain amount of traction is where there's market intermediaries. Some of where you have nonprofits that are actually facilitating goods or services. We became very excited about what B Corps is doing, which of course is helping to create, really a market infrastructure for benefit corporations. They themselves are a nonprofit. We've looked at GuideStar. We've looked at some workforce development organizations. So when we are looking at lending to a nonprofit social enterprise, we really need to see at least 50% of the income being earned income. And so those entities that are good at doing earned income, plus bringing some philanthropy, plus bringing some government contracts, those become the entities that really are the most investable. So rather than a source of dollar answer, there's really a strategy that that needs to be brought to bear to make social enterprises more bankable.
Great. And before we blow away, one last question, if I could. For folks who are looking at hybrid models, you mentioned B Corp. Any other ones like L3C that you had mentioned that are interesting in that hybrid space, for-profit, come together with nonprofits?
I personally think that some of the emphasis on the legal structures are maybe a bit overblown, in part because as a nonprofit, there really is a lot of flexibility that can be done, particularly if you're willing to invest in the accounting systems to be able to really track the financial performance of different sub-units within different social enterprise units. Because as long as what you're doing is consistent with your mission, you can actually do quite a lot as a nonprofit. The main reason I think people are looking to for-profit structures is believing that that will allow them to attract capital. But then again, if that capital, if you can generate the kinds of returns that would allow an attractive return to an investor, then you can go forward with existing capital sources. So I don't know. I think it's an exciting innovation, something we're keeping an eye on. But I think that I wouldn't let the structure guide the process. I'd encourage people to get out there to do the good work that needs to be done and let the structure follow behind.
Great. And last thing, if people want to learn more about the Calvert Foundation, where should they go?
Our website, which is www.calvertfoundation.org.
Great. Thanks so much.